I'd like to call to order the special meeting for Tuesday, May 11th, 2021 at 6:06 PM for the Romeo Downtown Development Authority. Kelly, can you do a roll, please?
Carol Humphreys,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Zach,
Here.
John,
Here.
absent is Greg, Megan, and Christine.
And Parker.
And Bill.
Oh, and Bill Parker, okay.
Stevens is here. We have a
So,
quorum.
We have a quorum, yep.
All right, public forum. Nobody today. We need approval of the agenda. We're gonna make a couple minor changes. Instead of the 2021-22 budget falling under new business, we're going to move that as line item A for unfinished business and add as line item B for unfinished business, approval of the job posting for the DDA Executive Director.
All right, is that your motion?
Uh,
Or you just?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
just,
okay.
and those are just the changes to the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda with the changes?
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda with the changes.
Motion by Brandt. Do we have a second?
I'll
Second.
John, go ahead.
Second by Rose. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Which brings us to.
Pledge.
What?
We didn't do the pledge.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. I'm rusty, it's been a while. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Carol. All right, unfinished business. We have the 2021-2022 budget. Carol updated this after our last meeting. This is a continuation of our meeting from last week. This got sent out earlier in the week here, actually last week. Carol, do you want to kind of jump us off here?
Well, what we're working with for this year is $201,150 in TIF money to be coming in, and $250,000 approximately in rollover funds, and $50 in interest income. So we will have a working budget of $451,200. Of that, we do have pledges to the Village of Romeo for $35,000 for the replacement of the lighting downtown and of various globes that are cloudy.
Replacing the
Cloudy.
LED.
We're putting the LED lights in. And then the other pledge is $80,000 to the Main Street pedestrian crosswalks. We also talked about $6,000 to the Central Business District for striping of the road and possibly some directional signs. Next thing would be our downtown decorations. We've set aside $8,000 for new banners, is that what was that was for?
I think that was for banner install.
And maintenance of the.
That's because we're gonna have to.
Cover the banner install?
Gonna go to
Yes.
the village essentially.
Okay. Let me write that in there, that's not maintenance.
Did
Well, I
Okay.
think it would be though with the
It is,
brackets and stuff, yeah.
Well,
If
in-
with brackets too and
It's
that
gonna be
money?
the install. That-
Install with the brackets, but didn't we talk about possibly painting those poles too? Was that in there or no?
I'm pretty sure that fell under we said 8,000 all, yeah, that was banner install and maintenance, all 8,000. So
Right.
that's
I think
gonna
that
be-
was, yeah, just
it
install.
included that as well.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can I back up for 1 second?
Sure.
explanation at the top, you went over the income. Can you explain the total budget income number? Do you have that here? Maureen?
$451,200. $201,150
Got that.
will be new money coming in from the TIF.
Right, and then continue down.
$250,000 we have in our current checkbooks.
Right, what is the line below that? Total budget income.
The two-
It's a misprint, that's why I said it's
Oh, that-
$451,200.
okay.
There's a zero missing.
Did I have an old one here?
No, it's a misprint in there.
That was my question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay. Then, again, under downtown decorations, for fall harvest, $750. Flower and plant maintenance, $20,500. Flower baskets and pots, $17,000. Holiday lighting, $5,000. That was another zero missing. New banners, $2,500. Winter holiday greens and install, $16,500. If you look on your right side all the way over, that's what we should spend by the end of the year for this budget.
57,924?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so now our marketing plan.
Won't that number change because of the, won't that number change because of the 5,000 for the holiday lighting?
Okay, so it'll go to 65, 750 plus 4,500. So that's 5,210, 70,250. Okay, and then advertising and promotion, 700. Dues and subscription, 215. Downtown events, 3,000. Oktoberfest, 2,000. We're gonna slate 500 per weekend. Harvest Day event, we're not doing this year. Meeting conferences, $100. Newsletter, 500. The DDA calendar, we're not doing. And the village market, we're not doing participation in this year. And the website development and hosting, we have it at 1,000, but
Should we
we're
up
gonna need
that?
more than that.
You know, when you say the newsletter, part of their package is you can produce a newsletter out of this website that they have sent this proposal, so that will be all banked in there. Can we move that 500 down to the website?
Well, that, we still have, if you look on the last page, there's a lot of money still to spend.
Okay?
So we can just bump that up to, what, 2,500?
Okay.
Yeah, add 1,500 to
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
So that brings that section to 7,515 plus 1,500. That's 5,109, 9,015. Then we got the employee expenses, the help wanted ad of 500, insurance 4,800, mileage 100, and payroll, wages, and taxes 40,000. That would be for 32 hours a week.
We said at a salaried of 36,400, correct?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Well, mine includes taxes.
Right.
So that's the new proposed figure.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
36,400, and then
Plus
the
the
difference is taxes.
Taxes, yep.
Then we've got, under office expenses, bank service charges of $50, insurance of $2,000, office rent of $600, office supplies of $500. We really don't need petty cash because we reimburse exactly what we use. Postage, $250, printing's part of the rent with the village. We don't need a sign. The small office equipment, we put in $1,000 in case something breaks. Software, 500. Telephone service, 850. So that comes to 5750. Then you've got auditing fees, 1,500. Legal advisement, 250. Outside office help, 0. Snow removal, 0. So professional services come to 1,750. Under brick and mortar projects, we've set aside $2,000 for benches.
Did we already do that, though?
No, but this is to replace if we have a
Yeah.
problem.
Oh,
to
okay,
have it.
okay.
We set aside $2,000 for kiosk and/or wayfinding sign. We set aside $10,000 for village park improvements, $1,000 for flower pots, $1,000 for the trash can project, $30,000 for the dumpster corrals in the southeast and the northeast quads. I put down the northwest quad because that's the only thing left. And then there's the Taylor Park that we kind of left, patriotic site, Lafayette bike path that we talked about, igloos for Main Street, requests
So do we
for,
have to put some monies in these?
we didn't put any money towards
That's what I
it.
thought.
I
Oh.
feel like we should though,
Yeah,
considering, because that's what I was gonna ask. And I don't wanna get ahead of ourselves here, but we're gonna have another 190,000 unspent that's gonna roll over to next year. Would it make sense to just,
Spend it?
well, to at least put it in the budget so that
Right.
if the time comes to
Right.
spend
That's
it,
what I'm
we're-
saying, it needs to go in there. And we've spent so far 45 and 15, 6,000. So we really should allocate, I put some ideas in there that we talked about, but that's, if people got more ideas, then we'll talk about that. The other thing is for sign grants and the historical facade grant, we've got $2,000 in there.
No, just a FYI, when I was looking at Almont's, what they put aside for their facade and sign grants, $20,000. But that was interesting.
Well, and we had it for so long, but we
Nobody ever
decreased it 'cause
applies.
Nobody ever applied.
Right.
Yeah, the last people I think that were awarded it was, for the facade grant was Ranowski's, if I'm not mistaken, for Ranowski,
What was that?
their facade improvement on the building,
Which
that Paramount
building?
was in,
Ah.
the one that Paramount was in.
Okay.
That
Oh.
was
The old peppermint
years
stick.
ago. We did a few sign grants, but even those haven't been coming through lately.
We've done some, like, thank you for fixing it up type stuff, but we haven't given out any money.
Maybe
And the
it's
other
something
thing
that
is
you
the
need to
the
push a little
35,000 we need to keep in the
Right.
checkbook just to operate from
Well, let's go on
July through October.
to the dumpster project in the northwest quadrant. wasn't it decided that as it currently is laid out with the poles and stuff, there's no room to put it over there?
Yeah, we looked at that probably 2 years ago now. That was, I think Carl, or that might have been when Ron Rizzo was on the board, where we walked it and looked at those quadrants and, talked to Bill about it. Bill talked to the, gas station owner at the time, because they have a lot of that
I'm-
space.
You're talking northeast.
Northwest quadrant where the
Oh,
village
I'm
park
sorry.
is.
Yeah.
I think it was determined that garbage trucks didn't have enough room to get in there and
With
Well-
the
the
power lines too.
power lines and stuff. But
Depending
we-
on what they change with the new building,
Right.
maybe it'll be different.
I wanted to say, we've got money in the other two quadrants,
We should
at
put
least
some
have
there.
some money in there.
Right.
Not that we're gonna design where is it gonna be.
Well, I didn't want to just put it in without talking
Well,
to
how
the
about,
board.
how about 15 in that one?
We good?
Because like Carl said, we don't know what's happening to that one area. We may be able to get a corral.
Yeah,
over
they may
there.
have to move those poles anyways.
Right, if they're taking things down.
What about the bike path? I think that would be very, very helpful to the downtown area, to lead people into the downtown.
My
I-
only thing is, I know that this has been a long ongoing, I think I brought it up when Karen Polka was awarded a grant from Ford to do this, and there was an issue with DTE's legal with that parcel there, because you know their substation is, or whatever that thing, transformer thing is right there.
Well, I think we could put something in there for the budget, but I think the problem is, because of where we're located, us doing anything within the DDA district is only gonna be effective if somebody else can do
Does it
something
with
to-
us.
Exactly, it's gotta connect the dots, so
Right.
if we can do that, great, but I think if it's just the DDA trying to do it on our own.
No, we can't do
We're
that.
gonna,
We
we're
can't
we're
do
gonna
that
have to
on our
stop
own.
somewhere,
Yeah.
we're gonna go from Main Street to wherever the district ends, and then the rest of the, there's gonna be no tie-in, so we'll have this thing sitting there
Yeah,
with a bike lane with no connection to the path, so I think if we budget for it, it's in there, great, but we have to do it with
Christine
somebody
said
else.
something about, they're talking about redoing the sidewalks there.
She said
Because they
that would
didn't
be
think
it.
that the bike path would be wide, there'd be room for cars at bike path, both.
I mean, I think Lafayette there being a one-way with a bike lane makes
Mhm.
the most sense long-term, but I don't know what we can do with that on our end.
So
We could put it in the budget, and then that's our
That have money there
contribution.
in
how
case
much
something
do you guys
happens.
wanna do that?
How much do you want to put in there?
10?
I was just gonna say 10.
10?
Yep.
10?
Well, and the other thing that really could be beneficial would be the igloos we talked about.
Yes.
I agree.
I agree too.
Did you happen to find out a price on those?
Well, no, not since the last time we talked to somewhere, they go all over, between 500 and, like I said, 5,000 or 10,000, depending on which ones you get. So if we had a subcommittee put together to take a good look at it, I think it would be nice to have some money in there to at
Do
least give
this.
us some kind of idea of
Mhm.
what to do.
So.
10, 5,000?
Oh, I would think
10.
more,
Put 10
I
in.
think, I was gonna say
25,000.
20,000.
20,000?
Okay. At least, yeah, we don't have to spend it, we just.
Right.
What is this patriotic site with flagpole?
I feel like that's an old
It's,
thing that
yeah,
just
it's been
stayed in
hanging
the-
around
Should we
since
just
we've
take
been
that off?
talking about
Yeah.
Taylor Park.
What is Taylor Park?
It's the alleyway that goes from Main Street to Bushibi's.
Oh, okay.
That's an alley that's been designated to be closed, but nobody wants to close it.
People use it.
Yeah, I wouldn't close that.
Well, that would close off that parking lot to MI Junks too. Yeah.
So just, when we added those, it took what we had left in unspent down to 145,000. Now, obviously, we want rollover. We
Right.
don't, because right now, the reason why we're doing this stuff is because we're sitting on 200 of rollover. So do we wanna go beyond this in any other categories? Right now, we're just talking about the blueprint projects, but, we didn't add much to the marketing plan. Are we safe with downtown decorations, knowing that costs are going up for a lot of these contracts that we're gonna have to bid out again soon? Are we, could we put another 10 into, something like
Well,
holiday lighting,
advertising
knowing
and
a lot of that stuff's gonna have
promotions
to get.
should have more in it than 700, I think. That's on the first page, advertising promotion.
John, I know you were a proponent of the, the marketing plan for the village. What do you think as far as that area is concerned? Right now, there is there's less than $10,000 in our marketing plan.
One reason why I was waiting to discuss a little further some of that would be this potential new position, because we had kind of thought if we're gonna afford a new position, a new person,
Right.
in this director position, under that umbrella, part of the job task should be the marketing and the promotion.
They need a
So,
bigger budget to work with, right? Or no?
No, not necessarily, that's gonna be part of what we're gonna pay them for.
Well, yeah, but she would have to be able to have, or he or she would have to be able to spend money to like Instagram or,
Right.
but to
Yeah.
buy the ads, right? So you'd need a budget.
Okay, yeah, as far as the actual, right, for example, the website would be under that umbrella as
Right,
well.
right.
So your website budget would,
But if,
so you're right, Zach, we need to make sure that that's comfortable.
yeah, because I think if somebody came into a DDA position and they saw that their advertising and promotions budget was $700 for the year, they'd say, what do you expect me to do?
You know, there's the opportunities with the county. They produce that Momentum magazine, and a lot of smaller towns take ads out when they have something going on, so something, and that's not cheap. I mean, an ad in there is, I wanna say $1,500, but it's
And that
mailed
could
to everybody
be-
in Macomb County, too.
That could be used as advertising our Oktoberfest.
Right, so I say bump it up to 2,000, no less than 2,000.
For advertising and
Yeah.
promotions?
Mhm.
So it'd be 2,700?
You're saying to bump it up to 2,000 or by 2,000?
Well, I said bump it up 2,000, but
So 2,700.
2,700, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then I'm looking at that Oktoberfest, you slated $2,000. Is $500 enough?
That'd be like $500 a weekend.
Right.
Should it be $1,000 a weekend?
Well, it
What do
would
we
kinda
want to
de-
do?
It depends on what you want to do, too,
And it
right?
depends on who you have in that position and what
Come
what
up with.
ideas they come up with as well. But you're gonna want them to have some money to,
Implement it, yes.
You know, if we want to do like a kids' day one of the weekends with pony rides and, minor things for kids to do, not like we do for our harvest days,
Mhm.
that costs money.
if we up that to 5,000, that'll keep our unspent at 140 roughly. And then we
Oh, it'll
just-
be less than that. I mean, more than that.
Our unspent?
Yeah, right now I'm at 230 minus 2. We're at 228.
I thought we were at 190 unspent originally.
281 was the
Yeah, she's got that
unspent.
on the bottom there, we have
Bottom number.
265.
Oh, I was looking at the far right column.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't spend 190 this budget.
That was this budget, okay.
Well, let's put it there then. Give you wiggle room.
What'd you
So
say?
you want to move that up to 5,000?
If there's
Yeah, the
five Saturdays,
Oktoberfest?
it's,
Yeah,
It's 1,000 a week.
So that's
So with
another
all of
3,000.
Proposed budget figures, forget about everything we've just added just now. With all of these proposed budget figures, because this just changed, you just changed this on me. You're telling me there's 281,000 unspent.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
So now you're spending this 281,000 with these additions that we're all discussing right now, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But that still leaves us with,
Okay.
I can't hear you.
that, even spending all that still leaves us with,
Right, we're still,
But Carol, really quick, for total expense, when we were at the top, proposed budget, total budget income, we had 451,150, correct?
yes, 451,
200.
200.
And then our total expense is saying 331,65. So how do we have 281,265 unspent?
Oh,
Yeah,
I wonder how come that didn't sum right.
I don't see all this.
Let's add it up.
I'd love to.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it's one.
Blame Excel, not me.
It's 121.
Okay, so we've got
unspent.
121 in this one. We've got 70,250 in that one. So that's 250,191. Then we've got 14,015 in the next one. 15,62502. Then we've got 45,4 in the next one. So that's 6650, carrier 152. Then we've got 5750 in the next one, because we didn't change anything. 51, carrier 14. 652. Then we've got 1750. So that's 5, 6, carrier 1, 2, carrier 1, 8, 5, 2. And then this bottom one was 46 plus 20, 30, 45. 46 and 45 is 191. 91,000. 5, 6, 2, 9, 4, 3. And the last one is 37,000. So we got 5, 6, 2, 6, 8, 3, and we got 4, 5, 1, 200, 3, 8, 6, 2, 6, 5. 5, that's a 9, that's 3, that's a 1, that's 9, that's 0, that's 4. That's 4, that's 6. We still have $64,900
After the additions we
after all the
discussed?
additions we talked about.
Okay.
Do we want to take it down that low? Or lower?
What, okay, so you're saying the 64,000 we have left over would roll into what we currently have in the bank, correct? What is that figure that we?
The figure that the figure we have in the bank right now is 268 something, but we've got some bills to pay. So I said we would roll over about 250,000.
And this one would then roll over the 64 plus the 268 plus the 64, correct?
No.
No?
This 64 is part of that.
Okay, okay.
That's
We have a
what's
total
left.
of $251,200 available to us.
Well, the year prior was only 89,000, so
Oh,
we're not that
okay.
far off,
And we added some significant.
right?
But-
The
And we
what?
won't necessarily spend all this.
True.
No, you're not
Right.
gonna.
Yeah.
If you look at Carol's
This
notes,
is our wish list.
Right. I'd rather shoot it higher with these figures and have some money in these
Yeah,
line items than not have any money in there.
John?
I'm certainly fine with the correct comment. We're not spending it. We're not spending all of this.
Right,
but we
like she
have it
said,
in
it's
there.
our wish list,
Right.
and we can now start filling those line items with money to really do
So,
something.
but as those line items come up throughout the year.
Then we decide if we're gonna
we're
spend
gonna
it or not.
readdress and say, well, wait a minute here.
Yes.
We've already spent this much from our wish list, we gotta back off a little.
Right.
So for instance, this is kind of giving, if we establish a subcommittee for the dumpster corrals, now the dumpster corral subcommittee knows what they have available to budget for in the scope of the project. The events, then Carl can say for the igloo project, he knows how much he can budget for. Those decisions still have to be made by the board collectively. Those
Right.
still have to be presented. No money is spent
Right.
Until
by the
we-
board
right.
without an approval. So
And
it's
we
still up
would-
to this board ultimately what specifically
So as we,
The money is
as
spent
we
on.
get further down our wish list, as we're calling it, it's less likely that project will happen, at least at 100% of that expense, because we may not feel comfortable
Spending all the money.
draining it quite that low.
You're saying based on from the category itself, or?
Just a total overall budget, if for whatever reason, we've decided, what did we say, 5,000 for igloos, and it's, you know, we've already done 80% of our wish list, we might back off on that. I mean, it's gonna be a board decision, we'd be voting on it, but
But like
I
you
don't-
the way it
said,
looks.
yeah, last year you said 88,000 rolled over?
It shows 89.
So this year, 64 rolls over, and we've padded quite a few of these line
Yeah.
items with some significant monies, I think.
Yeah, and let's be honest, we haven't done much the last couple of years.
No.
And it's
Right.
not, and it's, I don't think it's, you know, we had basically a year
Year
off with COVID, to be honest.
Right.
And
Right.
You've got that, and then just a lack of other things going on. I think, you know, the way this board has been established and what our responsibilities are, and having a full-time, potentially full-time employee on staff, I think our goal should be to spend a lot of this. you
We're
know? We've
working
gotta put it-
towards doing what a DDA should be
Right.
doing.
Okay.
And then those projects, after we get that TIF money in, you're not gonna have a lot of those big line items. Like, you're not gonna have another, if you spend 30,000 on the dumpster corral, you're not gonna have that in your budget for the following year. So it's like,
Okay.
that can go to other new projects.
So regarding this year, full agreement, and I agree with what we're talking about. I wanna ask regarding total income, how much can we count on that year after year after year? And specifically, if we commit to a director's position at a certain figure, we have to have that year after year after year. So,
The TIF, once it renews, will be there. But the only difference would be if the taxable value of the real estate would go down, which the likelihood of it going down in our area is slim.
And I mean, in all honesty, if it were to, then, you know, we're probably having some different conversations.
You're backing off
anyway
on some
that-
of your line
right,
items.
the
Yeah.
so the figure you're telling me is the TIF, which is the top portion of this budget, you're comfortable saying is a yearly income?
Oh, yeah,
for it?
I'm usually within 3% of being right on the money.
Right.
What about that replacement fund, Carol? Is that something that is
What replacement fund?
The Michigan TIF
The
replacement
9,000 you
fund?
have, is that something that's?
Yeah, in fact, I just got an email from them today to start submitting the paperwork for it.
Is that something that's a yearly
That's
thing?
something that we've gotten, probably for the last 3 years, it's been right around just under 10,000. One year it was 21,000.
What are they replacement? I don't understand what that
It
fund.
replaces our loss of personal property tax.
That's right, they did away with that, okay, okay.
And the only number out of our income that's gone down is the Village of Romeo 2 mil.
Right, and I don't understand why that's gone down. When I asked about it, they said that Macomb County said it had to go down every year, and it's down to 7.7 now, instead of, it's down to 1.77 now instead of 1.98. So for some reason, it keeps going down every year.
So that
And-
would be the one thing that could
Could go
potentially
away.
continue to go down.
And I don't know how a millage could go down without a vote.
A vote on it, yeah.
But that
I
was
wonder
the
if Amanda from the county would know.
Yeah, I would like to look into that because that's a lot of money we're losing.
So, from top down, do we want to just reiterate the totals for each category? Total for downtown decorations, not go through it item by item, but total for all those since we made changes. Are we
Okay.
able to do that?
So right now, the revenue sharing is at 121,000.
Okay.
The downtown decorations is up to $70,250. The marketing plan is up to $14,015.
Mm.
The,
Wait, I'm sorry.
pardon?
Marketing, 14,000?
$15, yes. Yeah, I got the 3,000.
No,
2,000,
I disagree with that one.
3,000.
Wait, we
Yeah, I
don't-
got them
We
all
added-
there.
We added 2,000 to advertising and promotions, and then we upped October.
Then we added
Oktoberfest
3,000 to
to
Oktoberfest
5,000.
and 1,500 to websites, so
Okay.
that's 14, 15.
Exactly.
Employee,
Oh, Carol, slow down, let John.
oh. We can add more in there too, once we're
Are
done.
you, what are you coming up with?
$11. You added 1,500 to the website development and hosting,
Mhm.
So that's 2,500 now.
and then you added 2,000 to the advertising promotions.
Correct.
It's
2,700.
27.
Mhm.
And then 3,000 to Oktoberfest.
For a total of 5.
Oh, that's what I was missing.
Okay.
5,000 under October total?
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you, okay. All right.
So now
Thank
we're
you.
at
Sorry.
general operations.
I don't know what we're gonna call it, but I just named it Oktoberfest for lack of anything.
Okay.
Okay, so we're at 14, 15 there.
Yes.
Mhm.
Then for the employee expense, that's at 45,400. The office expense is 5,750. The professional services, 1,750. The brick and mortar projects are, where'd I add those up? 91,000. And the grants and our money that we keep aside is 37,000. So that all adds up to 386,265. So we still have another almost 65,000 to allocate.
Okay.
I mean, we could put 20,000 in historical preservations, but we'd have to figure out what project that would be. Because we don't have, except for Starkweathers, we don't have any other type of nonprofit building in the downtown area that we could redo or even help rebuild.
Do we want to buy the church?
There's a church in the downtown area?
Huh?
It's out of our district.
Okay.
Daily to Buck Short.
Wrong side of the street, right?
Wrong side of the
street.
Darn.
A lot of.
Which church is that?
Can I-
Congregational. Go ahead.
Sorry. Total streetscapes. Where are you getting 91,000?
She was at 46. She added added,
45.
she added 15.
20 for
And-
igloos, 10 for bike path, and 15 for the northwest quadrant dumpster project.
That's 30, 45,000 plus 46. $91,000.
All right, so I'm missing a number in there.
We got 15 under the northwest quadrant for the dumpster.
1,500.
15,000. We have 10,000 in the bike path
Oh.
line item.
Okay, 15,000.
1,000.
Yeah.
Because we have 30 in the two other ones, so I just broke it down by 15 grand a thingy. So what is the next step of this?
We have to just approve
We
this.
approve
and to
this?
go to the it's gotta go to the village for final approval. They have to,
And I understand that, but this gets cleaned up, and who sends it to the village?
Carol will clean it
I
up.
do.
Okay,
Carol will
okay.
clean it up and she'll send it to me.
I think we should keep the 64 off. I think we just roll that over instead of putting it into the budget.
Put it with the 35?
The operating?
Put it, yeah.
Has the village ever not approved a DDA
No.
budget? Okay.
There might have been times where they told us to go back and,
Rethink it,
Really?
yeah.
yeah, refigure something.
Really? Okay.
And I know you're not, I just wanna throw this out there. I know you're thinking about, you know, working with the village on redoing the light poles and things like that, but the brackets for the flower pots are eventually gonna need to be powder coated or painted or
We talked about that.
something.
Mhm.
And really,
The whole pole needs to be repainted.
the whole pole needs to be, but I mean, I didn't know where you were going with, you know, are you gonna continue to put all the flower pots up? You know, what's the idea back there? And then you've got one other area in the village that somebody needs to think about doing something with, and it's that back corner of the parking lot behind the office pub, where the rock is at. You know what I'm talking about, right at the corner,
Yeah.
Rolls and
Mhm.
Lafayette.
Yeah?
You can't grow anything there. It's like, it's kinda like concrete, only in a dirt form. So you need to, I mean, and it's just bare and blah, and there's like nothing, there's a rock
We
there.
need a statue.
You need a statue, you need something,
Statue
I
of
don't
who?
know. I don't know.
Where are you planting the tree for Ted?
It's going in the alley, the Parker Alley by Mary's building.
Oh, okay. And when is that happening?
I'm just waiting on a pot, so
Okay.
Dwight's just checking that out, and then I also, so's Ron.
Okay.
But we already have
Do
a
you-
tree.
Are the flower pots, would we have enough money with $1,000? How much do they cost?
$1,000 is gonna get you like 2 pots.
How many do we need?
Well, I mean, you need to start thinking, I mean, if you're gonna continue to use them, you gotta start thinking about,
Changing them out.
you know, I mean, having some on hand, because
No,
they
I'm
do
talking
break.
about the ones that are cracked.
No, that
are-
one needs to be, those need to be replaced unless you're not gonna use them.
That's in this budget, though, I think.
Well, I think we need to rethink, when we put the next one out for bid, we need to think how many we're hanging and how many are actually going up on those poles, because they're doing, it's doing a number on them,
Right,
you
well,
know?
she's talking about the ones behind.
Well, right, but I'm saying we can, with the budget, you know, we
Right.
can, if we wait a year after we get through this next contract, the last year of the contract, then when we send it out for bid, we can change the scope of the work a little bit.
I'm thinking the poles, though, need some paint on them, so where do we put that?
Well, I thought that was your $8,000.
Pardon me?
I thought that was in the $8,000 of banner install and maintenance on the light poles.
Okay.
I mean,
Didn't-
if you wanna
didn't
do
they tell me
something
that
else.
It was $8,000 to put up these things 4 times a year? I thought that's what Christine was saying.
What's that?
I don't think they know, to be honest. I don't
What,
think-
the-
But that's why we put it in there.
The install of the banners,
Mhm.
what is being paid to the DPW each time that happens?
Well, I think she said it.
What is it, like $25 or $26 an hour per person for
And it's 90
2 whole days?
90 polls, so were we talking 8 grand?
But
Just,
here's the thing, in my opinion, if somebody comes to us and they want to do that project, that's what it's gonna cost you.
okay.
We're not gonna put you, if we wanna put up, Peach Fest ones or downtown Romeo ones, fine, but if it's
An
some.
outside, yeah.
Yep, that's their cost to incur, in my opinion.
To install.
Yeah.
What is it now, $26 an hour?
I think she said like $25 or $26 an hour per person
For 2 people, for 2 days.
So that's like $50
for
an
2
hour
whole
times
days.
8
Times 2 days.
times 2, that's $800. Times 4.
Normally, they have 2
That's only
people out
32.
there, right?
Yeah, but that's only one up and one down.
Right.
You know, it depends on the number of banners you got going up and down.
I think we're safe.
And
Okay.
it's 8-hour
I
days.
mean, I can tell you from working with Amy and Tad, and it's not easy putting those things up. I mean, somebody's
Well-
gotta be,
Well,
it's up
I'm
and
willing to
down.
pay the DPW, I don't think we're doing this, right?
No, we're not contracting it out. It was either gonna be a DPW thing, or before they had the lift, and they
Right.
went
Yeah.
pole by pole, and they.
But
went
like
up and
you
took it
said,
down.
I think that should be incurred by the person coming to put these things up.
I do too. There's money being made on the sponsorship, so
Mhm.
they have, it shouldn't be our expense to incur if it's not our project, in my opinion.
Can I have your bottom line again, your revised bottom line of what this budget is, that number that we went over?
What are we at right now?
Your,
356,265.
okay.
So we need to make a motion to approve this budget?
And-
I
and
thought we were
and
gonna
that
add
leaves-
something to it.
That leaves 64,000 set aside, not budgeted.
64,935. Unless I subtracted wrong.
And Zach just suggested we put that in the operational line item, which is down there at the bottom.
That's a
The entire
9.
64.
Well, I just said,
Three.
I meant
That's
just,
an 11. That's
we
9.
could put it there if we want, but I mean,
That's
Or she
normally
could
we just let it.
4.
Roll over, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's 4,
okay.
that's 6.
So is there any other line item we would like to put any more money into? Or do we want to keep the 64 as the rollover?
Do we want to add pole maintenance or bracket maintenance or flower pot? You know, the actual flower pots that.
Where is that we only added $1,000?
Well, we added nothing into downtown.
But there was someplace that we put $1,000 for the flower pots.
Mm,
It's on the second page.
where is
It's
it?
under blueprint projects.
Oh, that was the flower pot.
Oh, there we go. We need probably put more money in that thing, right?
To replace the current pots,
Well,
to build a
Lisa just
fund
said
up.
this would buy one, right?
Well, I mean, the 2 that hang, like the ones that hang on the poles, they probably buy you 2, because they're like $400 a piece.
Okay,
You know, if you're talking the troughs behind
those
the
are,
office pub.
it's not
I
gonna buy
mean,
you one at all.
You'd be lucky to get one for 1,000.
So what do we want about that, to 10,000 as a holder?
Where are you guys looking right now?
Second page.
The blueprint projects, the flower pots,
But this is different than,
this
weren't
is,
we trying to keep the pots off the ground? Wasn't that kind of our, we
Mhm.
took a lot of them off the street
Right, right,
before.
right.
But you still got the 3 behind the office pub
Mhm.
and Younger's. One of them is broke.
Okay,
So a couple meetings ago, we had that flyer that Megan had printed off from somebody.
Mhm.
They're not concrete, they're like a
resin,
Or
she
like
said,
a resin
yeah.
is what they are. I wanna say they're like $600 a piece or something. And the only other ones you have left on the ground is the one at the back of Starkweather Alley and the two at the end of Parker Alley.
Okay.
And they're there simply to keep people from driving up
Through
the
the alley,
alleys.
right. I say we put some more money in this one then.
So if there's, so just bump it to 2,000, is that what you guys said?
I said more than that, I'd say 5,000.
But I mean, if there's only 3 pots that need, and if we,
Well,
even
she's
if we
also
replaced
talking
all
about
of them.
Those rubber ones that hang on the
poles thing.
poles.
We're
Too.
talking
I'm talking
about
But
the
isn't that,
pole.
isn't that under flower baskets and pots?
No, that's
Under-
actual spent money.
That's the watering and the flowers.
Well, there's flower and plant maintenance,
Well,
there's
actually,
flower
it's just,
baskets and pots.
it's
So those
ju-
are the physical.
pots aren't there. Just cross pots off of that.
Okay, so it's not, it's,
It's just
It's the
flower
baskets
baskets.
of flowers that we purchase, right?
Right,
Okay. And then the flower plant maintenance is the water and the
right.
Fertilizer.
fertilizer. So we would want to, if we want to, down the road, be buying any more pots, we want to put money in this blueprint flower pot line item.
Then do we want to put up here with the downtown decorations, flower pot replacement fund, and start keeping money in there?
Well, why
Or do
can't
we
you-
want
Yeah,
to
wouldn't it
keep
be
it
the
down by the blueprints?
I'd say keep it down by the blueprints and just,
Okay. And bump that up to 10?
how about 5 for this year?
Okay.
So we just added 4,000 to that category.
Is that to 95?
That's 95 now.
61.
Subtract
So it takes
4
you,
from that, so
60.
that's down to 60, 935. Let's spend the 935 and then we just got the 60,000 to throw into implementation.
935?
Uh-huh. That's the odd number that's there.
That's a weird number, yes. So basically, call it 1,000, and bump up the flower
Put it in
pot thing
marketing,
to
make it
6.
15.
What'd you say, Lisa?
So why don't you just put it into marketing and make it an even 15? Aren't you at 10, 14, 0,
Oh, you're right,
15?
yes. Mhm.
Put it where?
We're at
In marketing.
14,015 in marketing, so if we threw that in there, that would make it like 15,000.
So add that to advertising and promotions?
Yep.
the only thing I was gonna say for, we're doing these like October events, and for fall harvest decorations, we've only got $750 budgeted. Shouldn't we be putting a little more there if we're doing these big events, or with the event budget?
Add that
go into-
935 to that?
Yeah,
That's what
All
I'm
right.
thinking, just have a little more to play with for the fall time.
So 935 to this one. Okay. So then I'm gonna throw that 60 down here into historical preservation and just let it roll.
do you have to put that in it?
I have to put it someplace.
You have to put it someplace? Okay.
I can add it to my implementation and operation, but it's
That doesn't make sense.
a
to
lot
do
more
that.
money than we normally put in there.
Why don't you split it between, oh, just throw it in the historical.
Whatever you want to put it, I
Put
don't
it in the
care.
historical preservation.
Yeah,
Huh?
Put it in the historical preservation.
At least we know
Yeah.
if we need to grab from someplace, that's where to go.
All right.
2 more questions. Looking back, there was a discussion, it's just, some of this is difficult without everybody here, because kind of everybody was involved in a bunch of initial discussions, and now they're not here, so I'm just trying to look back at some of my notes of issues that were mentioned, so I just wanna make sure it's fair that these things are put out there. There was one discussion of parking lot striping and curb striping, did we determine that was
We've
not
got
under the
6,000 for
DDA?
that.
We have
You
6,000.
have 6 on there,
Yep,
under,
It's under CBD revenue sharing. We can't do it without the village.
it's the
okay.
first line item. under it.
And then one other topic, and I don't know if it's in the DDA scope at all or not, but I know there was mention of land acquisition. Is this anything that we need to have on the table as far as, in other words, what I remember of the conversation was, it's not anything that's gonna happen, can be done tomorrow, but if we don't begin the process somewhere down the line.
Well, we could
we'll
put
never
that
have-
60,000 towards a fund, a land acquisition fund.
Yeah, I agree with John on that. We should have that in our, you know,
Forward thinking.
Yes.
yeah, well, you know, because.
Well, how about you change the historic preservation to land accusation, or whatever.
Land acquisition
Yes.
fund.
That makes sense.
That
Can we,
was-
are we able to obtain a loan? Like, you
Yes,
know,
we can bond.
so if that was even a down payment on a
Right.
parcel or something
Well,
like that.
and that was
we finance
discussed
it.
actually, not only either having something so that there's a down payment, or at the
Mhm.
very least, if it's 60 this year and we can find 60 next year, and then the year after, next thing you know, maybe there's 500
parking lot.
years along, right, where it may come into play, so.
After looking at some other budgets of local, they, several of them have bond payments out from their DDAs. That's how they've gotten some of this work done.
Makes sense.
Money's cheap right now, right?
So we wanna, so we're gonna put,
60
we're,
into.
we're creating land acquisition
Yes,
as a, non-
yep.
okay.
Okay,
All right. So we need a motion to approve the budget with the changes that we discussed in this meeting so that Carol can update these figures and send it to the village for their approval at their next meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the budget as discussed?
When is the next meeting, do we know?
Their meeting is
Monday.
this upcoming.
This upcoming
Yeah.
Monday?
Yeah.
The 17th?
yes.
So,
No pressure there.
Carol, you gonna
Is it?
be able to do that?
Is it the third Monday of the month or the?
No, it
that
is,
already-
it's the
The
17th.
17th? And then,
Of course.
are we able to glance at it before it's sent?
I can send it to Christine tomorrow.
I figured you just gotta update the numbers, right?
Just,
Yeah.
just CC
Can you
everybody on it.
send it to us
Copy
too?
all of us,
Yeah.
just-
I don't know, but I suppose.
Okay, so Zach made the motion.
I didn't make a motion,
Oh,
I'm asking, I was asking for a motion.
Okay. I will make a motion that we adopt the amended budget that we've amended tonight to send for the 2021-22 budget year, and that Carol prepares it and sends it to Christine for Monday's meeting.
Motion by Stevens, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Brandt. Lisa, can you do a roll, please?
Stevens,
Yes.
Brandt,
Yes.
Humphreys,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes,
Hayes,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, thank you. Moving on, next line item under unfinished business, we've got the approval of the DDA Executive Director job posting. Kelly?
So we talked about this, and I did give you guys, I don't have it with me tonight, but a posting we had come, thank you, a posting we had come up, but more importantly, we were looking at 36,400 as the salary for 32 hours a week. And we were offering, Carol, you have in here, $4,800 towards insurance. So I think because we've asked to put this in our budget, that we can afford to hire somebody, and we are looking that we could post this as the committee comes back together and looks to where to post this. Do I have any discussion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve the posting,
Based on our
after-
budget?
yeah, after approval of the budgets received by the Village of Romeo.
Yeah, we kinda have to wait for them, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll second this motion.
Got a motion by Hayes, second by Stevens. Do we have to do a roll on that one, Lisa?
All in
No,
favor?
you're not spending money on that one. so-
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Can you?
Motion
let me-
carried.
Can we restate that one? Motion by Hayes to approve posting after
Posting
budget approval is received from the village.
from the village.
From the village, yeah.
All right, board member comments? John?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
You sure?
I think I've said enough. I'm good.
You wanna say one more thing? Come
No,
on.
I don't.
No? Okay,
I'll
okay.
wait for the next full meeting.
Okay.
Kelly?
Just, some of you that weren't here, I did send out a proposal for the website. If you could please just take a look at it before our next meeting and give me your input, or just send me an email about what you think about it. And again, go out to the, Elmont DDA and take a look at that website.
Do you know the address?
elmontdda.org.
I do have a question regarding that. Regarding our board, are we in a situation where we would need multiple quotes or bids to hire a firm to do something like that?
If we hired a firm, yes, but I think if we're electing to take part in a service, I don't know if we would, because we're implementing that as,
I'm not sure, because this is a company that specializes in,
I just I wanna ask that now, before we get too far along in the
Right,
process,
right.
we get 3 months down the line, we're all happy, and then somebody's.
Lisa,
all of a
do we
sudden
have
wouldn't.
to do multiple?
Depends on the amount of money you're spending. If you're not spending more than $1,500, you don't,
This would be more than $1,500.
Well, we already budgeted for 25, so if.
it doesn't matter.
Oh, 15 is the cap that you,
15 is the cap am I not correct, Carol? It's 1,500 is approvable by the chair.
By the chair.
so
By the
then we
chair.
have to, have other companies bid on
Right,
this.
you can use that, whatever they've given you, and just, I mean, you don't have to put it out for bid, you can just ask for quotes. I don't believe
Okay.
you have to actually.
Well, we
put
did
out
get a
bid
quote from
process.
Romeo Computer, and he did say somewhere between, I think I told you guys, 1,000 and 2,000. But I feel like this company, this is their specialty.
Right.
This is what they do.
And Kelly, I'm not debating that at all.
Okay, that's fine.
I might be absolutely
No.
great, I love it. I just wanna make sure
No,
we
no,
don't run into
I
a
agree.
roadblock because all of a sudden we need.
But would
multiple.
Steve Eaton's,
So,
he sent me an email with a proposal of what he thought.
that count as one?
Would that count as one?
I think do we have to, we can't solicit it on our own, we have to like post it.
You can post it. You can post it. I mean, Christine could put it on the MML, which would, or she could she could put it on Mitten, which would generate more, would probably generate more proposals. You might get I don't know who that's from, but you
Mhm.
might, you may find a company that would do,
Okay. Well then,
but the Mitten is a really good place to put stuff.
okay.
But how does that work though? Because if you said that you wanted to spend $2,000 on a magazine advertisement, you wouldn't have to bid it out and say, well, what are these advertisements that these other magazines are offering, and then make a decision, right? If it's a service that they're offering, I don't know, I think, to me, I think you
Yeah,
could get away without that, but I mean, that's just
I don't know,
me. We
that-
can discuss it at a.
At the next
yeah.
board meeting. But just take a look at, take a look at it.
Carl?
I'm all set today.
Carol? Lisa?
We didn't put any pressure on Carol tonight, did we?
Do I have a motion, to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by
Second.
Stevens, second by Humphries, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's adjourned, or meeting's adjourned.